What is on top of the deck? What is on top of the deck? Oh, it's Lightning Helix! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Welcome to Hunt the Week.
Hello, everyone, and welcome into the show. Welcome on in, each and every one of you. Vampires, dinosaurs, morefolk, and pirates. We're still doing that. I mean, we went from Ixalan. Those were the tribes. And now we're back on Ixalan, and they're still there. We're digging a little deeper, though. We got the Bat God. Maybe you're a Bat God out there, ready to die, turn into a land, and then come back. Boy, is that card annoying. Welcome on in. This is Caverns of Ixalan Kickoff Show. I am your host with the most, your Don John DeMarco, your Goku or go home. I am a 3-time top 8er, a 2-time league winner, and 1 time I did the Ixalan Remastered Mega Draft commentary with Adam S., aka Wisma. That's right, I did the Mega Draft commentary again this week on Tuesday. Richard couldn't make it, unfortunately, and I stepped up, brought back Adam, who did the Wilds of Eldraine Mega Draft. Is that what it was? Has it been that long since Wilds of Eldraine already? Wow. Raph won that one, and this one was won by Jordan M. J.M. Tron. Sorry for the spoiler, but it's out there. Go ahead and watch those videos. Some really cool games. We followed Jack H., a.k.a. Rakic, through the draft and all the way to the finals, where he had a really nice Merfolk deck that he was piloting just really, really well, but it could not stand up to one rare in Jordan's deck. Just seemed to run everybody over. Breaches the Pirate. Know that name and love it. You're going to be seeing a lot of that in Ixalan League. This Caverns League, maybe I got to start calling this Caverns League. You're going to see that rare out there, and I'll tell you, it looked not fun. Looked not fun to play against that card at all. But congrats to everyone who made the Mega Draft for Ixalan Remastered, and big congrats to our winner, Jordan M. J. Mtron, who will be coming on next week to talk all about that and Caverns. But we're not talking Ixalan Remastered. We are talking Caverns of Ixalan. So let's go ahead and let's start digging.
Digging in the dirt, digging in the dirt, digging in the dirt, digging in the dirt. We're moving the earth. It's hard work, hard work, hard work. Digging in the dirt.
We are in Lost Caverns of Ixalan, and I played the old cartoon show theme that was in the Ixalan Remastered. I played that. It was a cool thing I found out at a GP way back in the day, and I was able to record it and hang on to it. But I mentioned this a lot. I love digging into the metadata and getting deep on this stuff. And I like looking where people won't look, right? I'm an internet sleuth. I'm a cyber detective. And I found out if you take that song that I played in Ixalan Remastered and you reverse it so it plays backward, okay? And then you take out all the high tones and all the low tones and you only leave the mid tones, okay? Then you speed it up and flip it reverse back. You end up with, and I can't believe they did this, the foresight that Wizards has to be coming up with all these things I find. I mean, they're one of the most amazing companies in the world, but no one knows because no one's digging like I dig. That's what I do. But if you do all that and you hit play, you actually get this. Oh my god, we're back again. It's Ixalan with all my friends. Gonna find some caves and get inside. Gonna pick a path and not question why. Do I want pack rerolls? Yeah. How about set synergy? Yeah. Copy my best card? Yeah. With so many paths to pick, I gotta pick the right one now. Let's go crafting. Yeah. Then descending. Yeah. And exploring. Discovering all night. Ixalan's back. Alright. amazing. Amazing that they were able to do that with the same piece of audio that we played on this show just a few weeks ago. I'm not sure what that was for. Maybe it was just foreshadowing. Maybe it was just a little hidden Easter egg for us. But hey, I am here for it. And as I record, it is 2:14 p.m. No, we don't have a top 8 yet. What we do have, though, are certain paths. And this is kind of a weirder, different league. It's been a while since we've had choices, right? Like, we don't get a lot of choices in a lot of these leagues. And this one starts off with a big choice. You have to pick your path before you start playing. And then you are set down that path for the entirety of the 6-week league. And we're going to go through each path really quickly right here. Path 1. On your first loss, treasure map. So you get to re-roll a pack. You get to re-roll any pack, and you get a pack of LCI. Second loss, punishment pack is random. So you get a random Explorer Legal. You get a random punishment pack, which you can re-roll. Then number 3, Daring Discovery. Discover a random uncommon colorless artifact with mana value less than your total number of losses. Uncommon, so I don't know what's all there in uncommon, but people can look into that. Number 4, Tomb of Alklazot. Oh boy, the names in this set are just going to be, I'm sorry, you're going to have to deal with that. Discover a random legendary, rare, or mythic vampire from a non-Caverns of Ixalan set. Treasure map. Discover 1 map token, so it's another pack reroll. There at number 5, you get another LCI pack. Number 6, Twists and Turns, another random pack. Number 7, LCI with another reroll. Number 8, this is your only choice pack. You get to pick one set of your choice. So that's your one choice you get here in the Adventurer's Path, Path 1. Number 9, random punishment pack again. And then number 10, on your 10th loss, you get any one creature land added to your deck from a non-LCI set. So this path seems to be, I keep calling it rerolls. This is the reroll path. This is also the chaos path. You don't like the pack you get, your chaos pack, you reroll it. Or maybe you reroll some of these LCI packs. But you still get 6 LCI packs and a free creature land at the end. I think that's a really good one. Number 2, we have the Relic Hunter's Path. Number 1, Treasure Map. You get an LCI pack and a reroll on your first loss. Number 2, Daring Discovery. You only had one of these in pack 1, and this is discover a random common colorless artifact with mana value less than or equal to your total losses. Number 3, Twists and Turns. That's you get a random pack there. Number 4, Forgotten Monument. This is your choice of pack, any set that's not Caverns, but you can't pick the same set twice. Number 5, Corpses of the Lost. This one's unique to this path. Discover a random legendary, rare, or mythic pirate or merfolk. This one, I don't know if you get to choose or if it's just random, but you get a pirate or a merfolk right there on your 5th loss and an LCI pack. Number 6, Daring Discovery. Discover another random colorless uncommon artifact with mana value less than or equal to your losses. That's on your 6th loss. So, I mean, that's 6 mana or less. Uncommon. I bet those are good. Treasure Map. You get a pack reroll. Number 8, Forgotten Monument. This is another choose your pack. Just can't choose the same one you chose on loss 4. Number 9, Daring Discovery again, but this time you get a rare colorless artifact. So the first one you get's common. The second one's uncommon. The third one is a rare with mana value less than or equal to your total losses, which will be 9. You got, I'm sure, a lot of options there for colorless artifacts 9 or less. And then 10, Hit the Motherlode. Discover a random legendary colorless artifact from a curated list of non-Caverns options. And all these, if I'm not saying what kind of pack you get, you're just getting a Caverns pack. So this is kind of more of a artifact. I think this path is really more about the fun artifacts that you can get along the way. Also the pirate or merfolk. You get a vampire in path 1. If you're not in vampire colors, but maybe you think you're merfolk or pirates, you could go this way and hope to spike a nice rare or mythic pirate merfolk. And then you get that legendary colorless artifact at the end instead of the creature land you got in the first one. 7 chances at Caverns packs, and this path gives you the most Caverns of Ixalan packs. You still get 2 rerolls, and you get 2 choices. So this one kind of seems like, I don't know, right down the middle. You're not getting, all choices. You're not getting all re-rolls, but you're getting the most LCI packs, and you're getting probably the most cards added to your packs, because you get the 3 colorless artifacts, 4 actually once the legendary. You only get 1 of those in the first pass, so you get some extra cards in this one. And the last path, the Archaeologist path. Your first loss, you get a treasure map, so that's the re-roll LCI pack. Second loss, Forgotten Monument, so this is you choose what pack you get to open. Number 3, Daring Discovery. Here's your common colorless artifact. They all get a common colorless artifact. Number 4, Twists and Turns. Punishment pack is random, so you get a random pack there. You get 1 reroll here. Number 5, Forgotten Monument. This is where you get to choose your pack again. Number 6, Intrepid Paleontologist. Discover a random legendary, rare, or mythic dinosaur from a non-LCI set. Boy, there's going to be... Whoever opens Carnage Tyrant, that's a dinosaur, right? There's going to be some bombs opened right there. All these things have the option of opening up some crazy cards, right? All these tribes, typal, kindred, I don't know what we call them anymore. But they've all got some... It's going to be a nice range, right? Some really strong bombs, but also maybe some stinkers in there. Number 7, Twists and Turns. This is another random pack. Number 8, Daring Discovery. You get the random uncommon colorless artifact that you got in the second path, less than or equal to your total number of losses for its mana value, LCI pack. Number 9, this is another choice. Choose any pack you want. And number 10, you may forego your punishment pack. Okay, so you don't have to. You get an LCI pack if you want it, or you don't get a pack, but you can copy any card of your choice. That Carnage Tyrant you opened up on your 6th loss, you could take 2 of them, make another one of them. I think this is super strong. Originally, I was on path 3, but they did make some changes to the rules, and that's changed my opinion. Originally I was like, I'm going path 3, I'm playing Mom. I want to open as many Mom packs. I didn't get to do that in WoW. Let's do it here. Why not? Plus copying a card, even if it's on your 10th loss. So it's kind of at the end of the league. You got to run hot after that. But that's a strong mechanic. Copying any card in your pool. In Ixalan Remastered League, I didn't add a single card to my deck from my 6th pack. But I had a hostage taker in there that I would have loved to have copied instead of taking that pack that added nothing. So I think this is very strong. This path, you get the least Caverns of Ixalan packs, and you only get 1 pack reroll. So you're kind of stuck with what you get here. You get to reroll 1 pack, but you get to choose your pack. So let's say you love what's going on in Ixalan, you can go back and take the other Ixalan sets. Gets more pirates, dinosaurs, and merfolk. Maybe you're trying to just go any set with a bonus sheet. You go Bro, you go Strixhaven, you go Mom, grab all the bonus cards you can. So that's what's going on with path 3. Which path will you take? There's so many options. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. I'm thinking path 1. I think I'm going to go path 1. I like Chaos. I like that they fixed the creature land so it's not random. You actually get to choose one in your colors. I think that's a great addition because I was really kind of scared off of it because that final loss just didn't seem like it was going to add much. But no, if I get a free on-color rare land that's also a creature, plus all the chaos stuff, plus all the pack rerolls. Pack rerolling is a strong mechanic. You open a pack, doesn't suit your deck, give me another one, right? Or you just open a pack that doesn't have a mythic in it, give me another one. I think I'm on path 1. I don't know if I should be caring more about these legendary creatures. Like, I'm not really a vampire deck right now. We got our pools. Pools have been rolled. Mine is fine. The thing is, it's too early. I don't know these sets. I don't know this set. I don't know what's good. I don't know what's bad. Seems complicated. I'm in my 2nd draft, and it seems complicated, which is usually a good thing and something I like for limited play. I like to test myself and see these complicated lines, but I've also been playing what I feel is like a lot of simple sets for a while, so I've got to get my brain back to working right. And the fact that I can craft with cards in my graveyard, I am having such a hard time understanding that mechanic. Craft with a creature. Okay, cool. But I have creatures in my graveyard. Always use the graveyard. But it doesn't pop those cards up like it's super easy to see. Just know what the mechanics are. Make sure you get some drafts in before you start your league, or at least get some practices in. And take this time to think about what your deck is doing, and maybe you want to follow a path that's going to suit your deck. Maybe you just want to pick a path that you think is going to be fun, right? Like, if you're not feeling Caverns, you don't like it, maybe you like Pack 3, you get to pick a lot of your packs. Maybe you love Caverns, you want Pack 2 to get as much onset synergy. There's a lot going on here. So I'm excited. I'm excited for Caverns of Ixalan League. There's a lot of fun stuff you could do here. It's a 6-week league. It's going to be a long one. We got a lot of new players. Go in there, say hi, have fun. But I had on the man, the man, who had a lot of say in this league. Maybe not all the say, but I got a league committee member to come on this week and talk about Caverns, talk about the past, talk about how we got here. So let's go ahead and do a little discovering.
How can we stand in the light of discovery and not act?
That's right. This week, I talked to none other than Ryan D, a.k.a. The Slickness, a.k.a. my nemesis, but also a very nice guy, who had a lot of input on the design of Caverns, who has a lot of knowledge about it, and we had a great talk. So go ahead and listen to my interview with Ryan D now. All right, everyone, join me as we discover this week with none other than Ryan D, a.k.a. The Slickness himself. Welcome to the show, Ryan.
Awesome. Happy to be here, John.
Hey, happy to have you. Always a good time to get you on the show. My nemesis, my arch rival. People were asking why you are my nemesis in the chats, and it's because you always beat me. So I have a terrible record against you.
Yep. Don't fact check it. Just always beat you.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's a pretty phenomenal. I don't know, what is it, like 2-10 or 2-8, something like that.
That's what I choose to believe. Yeah.
But Brian's got my number, so even though he's one of the nicest people, he has to be my art. Even nice guys can have nemesis. That's me. Well, Ryan, we're having you on the show. We're getting ready for big Caverns of Ixalan League, the new exciting 6-week league coming out that has all these crazy paths and rules for us to follow, and we got to get on a league committee member to talk about it. So you're our guy. We're going to talk all about Caverns of Ixalan today. You excited?
Yeah, I'm really excited to talk about it.
All right. Well, tell us what's going on. What is our rule set for the 6-week league? And we'll kind of talk more about it as we uncover what it is.
Yeah, well, I'll try to keep it brief because I'm sure you even went over it a little last podcast, right? So you got
A little
3 different paths that you get to choose, and you just can choose those after seeing your pool. And each path determines what happens on a loss. Normal league rules are you get a punishment pack on a loss, and that's it. Sometimes a choice of punishment pack, etc. This time, depending on your path, a new thing happens with each loss. So you might get a random punishment pack. You might get a regular LCI punishment pack, but we throw on an artifact. Cool. And they're all themed to some of the set, mechanics and designs. And we tried to make 3 paths as even and interesting as possible, depending on, what you kind of like to get out of your punishment packs. And if you're a Spike, what you think might be the most optimal thing to go for.
So how could you break down the 3 paths like in the simplest of terms? Path 1 is for players who like to do this or want to do that. Path 2 is if you like to do this, you go down path 2. Like, how would you break down the meaning behind each path?
Yeah. So path 1 is I used to call it Tomb Raider because that was the working phrase. So
I love
it. Because it has the tomb where you could discover a vampire in. But basically path 1 is the treasure path. So I think we called it treasure hunter in the end.
Okay.
Treasure maps are what you discover most in that path. And treasure maps allow you to do a pack reroll. And on your pack reroll, you get a random explorer legal set. So basically you have the most options to reroll. So that's the path with 3 treasure maps in it.
Super exciting. That's awesome.
Yep. And then path 2 is the relic hunter. So what that has the most of are the 3 bonuses: Daring Discovery, where you get your LCI punishment pack, but then you get a random common artifact, you get a random uncommon artifact, you get a random rare artifact. And then a lot of people have focused on the last kind of pack 10 or lost 10 mechanic. So this one is thematic because you get a random legendary artifact. So it's kind of artifact heavy, and the artifacts, naturally are colorless. So I view it as a pretty safe path. It's like, oh, you're just getting some bonuses basically, as you get your normal LCI packs.
Yeah, and that path gets you the most LCI packs too, right? So if you want to stay on set, that could be the path to travel down.
Right, yeah. So each path has like 3 of some mechanic. Like path 1 has the treasure maps, path 2 has 3 of the daring discoveries, path 3, the archaeologist. Sorry, I don't know what we ended up calling it at the end. Maybe I think it still is archaeologist actually. Gets the 3 forgotten monuments. And so the forgotten monument are the one where you get that step and you get your choice of non-LCI punishment pack.
Ooh, very exciting. And that's been tweaked a little bit, right?
Yep.
Let's hear about that.
Yeah, so the history here is there could only be as much balancing as we could imagine.
Sure.
Like I don't know, what do you think's best? I don't know. There's 3 of us, just kind of debating a few things. Like Johnny's like, I think path 2 is the best, or whatever. And so we didn't really know. So we just kind of honestly, it's very similar to the initial draft I had put out there, for balancing, because we're like, I don't know. So we just, and we're kind of on a time limit anyway.
Yeah.
So we're like, well, let's just put it out there. So put it out there and got some feedback that the archaeologist path might be the path 3, the most popular, considering you get 3 choices, and people could take mom 3 times.
Oh boy,
guaranteed in that
here
path.
We go.
Yeah,
Mom League 3.0.
The trigger word that gets everyone everyone excited, I guess. So we did end up tweaking that one, in that now for forgotten monuments, when you choose your punishment pack, you can't choose a punishment pack that you've previously taken from a forgotten monument. So you can take mom the first time if you want to go that route, but then the second time you got to pick a different offset choice.
You can't go all mom. You can't go all 1 and get Phyrexians. You can't go all Brothers War for your artifacts. You can't go all M19 for your
oh darn.
Somebody's out there.
Really kiboshed that niche path that someone was going to take, all M19. Oh, well.
Hey, so you guys are yucking my yum over here, not letting me play my core sets like I want.
We did consider just the mom ban, of course, so that was an option out there, but people, it would still come up because we didn't talk about the twists yet, but they're in the twists, or when you get the treasure map and you re-roll, mom could always come up with those randomly, right?
Sure.
So it's like, well, why would we restrict it for forgotten monument, but then you could roll it randomly elsewhere? And I don't know. We're just trying to, it's Wizards' fault that they made a powerful set, so we're just like, hey, blame Wizards, not us. Yeah. It's got to be part of it, I guess.
I think it's a very elegant and it's a solution that works well, right? Because it's like every path you get to choose a pack at some point, right? So it's like, I mean, everybody can have their mom pack if they want it, but they only get the one, Yep. So that option is there for everybody, no matter what path they go down. I think it definitely does. As someone who was one of these, path 3 is the most powerful path. I want to go path 3. Hearing that I can only get 1 mom pack, I don't know that I'm going path 3 anymore, Ryan. I think that may have been enough to push me off of that, which I think is awesome. I think that's what you wanted to do. You're balancing it a little bit here right before we start, and I think it's great.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm excited about it.
What path do you think? I mean, everyone's got their own opinion. You can't be wrong here. What path do you think is the strongest, or what path will you be choosing if you have any inkling?
I think I have no idea.
Sure.
So I'm still like on a design, like I still have a design hat on, and we're still like promoting the league and everything. So I haven't flipped into thinking of it as a player yet.
Uh-huh.
I know that seems kind of weird. Like, how do I not have thought of which path I wanted? But yeah, that's so I don't actually know at all which path I'm gonna take.
Is there one that you think is stronger, or one that you just, oh, this has this mechanic and I like this mechanic a lot? Or do you think that they're all pretty, you really have no idea?
I liked the treasure map mechanic, the pack reroll, and I thought people would value that higher.
It's a
It's
good one.
kind of like how people say like, oh, scrying is really popular. It's not sexy, but it's like, or not popular, but it's like, it's really good to do,
Oh,
So I just figured like, oh, well, yeah, like re-rolling a pack, you get another shot, you get less bad punishment packs. It always feels bad to just get a bad one
yeah.
sometimes. So I guess I thought that would be popular to get the most re-roll options. Um, so like that's kind of where I was originally thinking of going.
I like it. I like it. And it might be where I'm going. It's what I think looks the most interesting. I mean, it also has the most randomness, and I do like the chaosness of these leagues sometimes. So I do think Path One is looking pretty fun and pretty interesting.
Yep. Well, if we get 75% that go path one now, I'll blame myself. I should have said something else on this
Yeah,
podcast.
this blame it on Ryan. Ryan came on the pod and promoted it. Okay, this is his choice. Well, I'm super excited for Caverns of Ixalan League. You do any pre-releases over the weekend or anything?
No, I think correct me if I'm wrong, but you and I think are mainly, online players, right? I know
Yes.
you got to Dallas and everything, but
Yeah. Yeah, I
yeah, so
am.
I'm the same way. I just
I feel like I'm
my
behind.
pre-release is Tuesday.
Right? I feel like I'm behind. Everyone else is playing this set. I have no idea what's going on in this set. I haven't looked at spoilers. I haven't played it yet. So it's like I'm excited for it, even though I have no idea what it is. I'm just excited for something new and exciting.
As a tangent, I really like playing cubes on Arena, and they
Yeah.
always put that out like right at the tail end of the
Yep.
set, right before the next one.
Yep.
So instead of like previewing the next set cards, I'm spending my free
Oh,
magic time like jamming cubes.
I've done so many cubes in the last 2 3 days, Ryan. I'm
Yeah,
playing cube constantly, and I love it. I love cube. It's so fun.
yeah.
But yeah, I agree. I'm just jamming cube, wasting all of my money before Caverns comes out. Wishing that I was spending it on that instead, because we're gonna have packs for rolled here soon coming up, and I don't know. I don't know what the bomb is. I don't know what's a good rare. I don't even know what the mechanics are. I don't know, Ryan. I'm behind.
I know. The only reason I know more is just because of we had to incorporate some of it into designing the league. Otherwise,
Yeah.
I'd have no clue.
Well, let's learn a little bit more about the league committee and what it's like to be in the league committee, Ryan. I'd love to know what it's like to be in the league committee. I don't know what happens behind those closed doors, how you guys come up with these sets. I see people come and go from the committee. What's it like to be in it? And what could people, if they want to be in it, what could they strive to be a part of?
Yeah, so I'll say right now I have a sense of anxiety in the back of my head because I'm leaving a question on Reddit unanswered right now to do this
Oh
podcast.
my gosh.
So I have this some sort of sense of obligation to always be like, promoting the league and because that's kind of my role that I got into on the league committee each set. Answering new player questions and trying to guide with this documentation that I put together
Yeah.
and the Reddit posts. But what is it like? Pretty broad question, but I would say when you have to make decisions at work or in the office and you all get on a Zoom meeting and you spend an hour talking about something and then make one decision at the end of an entire hour. It's
Yes.
like that, except we actually don't talk. It's dispersed on a Reddit thread over the course of multiple days. So there's I was like, oh man, I wish there was a way to see how much like literal words there were in our Caverns of Ixalan, thread on
Yeah.
the league committee channel, but it's pretty long.
Oh, I
So
bet.
there's just a lot of back and forth and ideas, and you get better at it, right? It's actually kind of helped me in my work life, to be honest,
Well, that's great.
because we like we do so much on a kind of a chat sort of exchange, you know, and you end up just developing ways to like vote on things, and
Sure.
okay, it's been 3 days and we never finalized this argument. Let's do the official vote. Put your 1, 2, or 3.
Ooh,
So we just kind of like get organized about moving things along, and get better and better at our processes, honestly, and
yeah.
and just kind of like checklists that all the things we got to remember to do. Um, but it's pretty rewarding. I like it. I like being a part of this, and I think the league would always be important to me, even if I wasn't on the committee. But it's just kind of like, well, I'm gonna do what I can to kind of keep this community going. So
Well,
that's my
we
motivation.
all appreciate what you and all the other committee members do and the time you put in. I know you guys put in a lot of effort and hours, and it's no easy task to do what you guys do.
I would say it's kind of like being a DM in like D&D, right?
Yeah.
It's like you getting, yeah, DMs have to get their joy out of other people having a good time, right? And something that you all put together. So I don't know. It's probably that same sort of logic or mentality, I guess.
Yeah. Wow. Do people get into arguments, or do people passionately defend? Like, was there like a I don't know, did someone really want a path to be on, or an event to be on one of these paths, and other
Mhm.
people weren't into it, and they just like passionately defended it or wouldn't let it go? Do people, I don't know, do people argue on the league committee?
Um, I mean, we're all humans, so like there's going to be disagreements, but I don't know. I think I think we have a pretty healthy relationship with each other, and we all know that we're all just doing this for fun, right? It's just some perspective here. So yeah, it's deflating to like spend time on an idea and put it, you spend a couple hours on something, you put it out there, you get like 2 thumbs downs, and it's like, well, moving on to the next. It's like, oh man, that was my Saturday evening I spent on that, like, um, so, but it's you get to roll with the punches, and we all seem to be on the same page with, even if a couple people tend to agree more than others, or
Yeah.
like this person and I always are saying opposite things. It's fine. We all respect each other, I think, and we're trying to make sure we have that culture in the league committee, but also on the server in general too. So
I know you're a New Yorker. I got to get to the bottom of this question because I've spent some time in New York myself. Bagels or pizza? What's your go-to New York food, Ryan?
hey, well, I appreciate that you remember I'm from New York, but I am 3.5 hours north of New York City, which is the kind of
I yeah,
bagel
yep, I
pizza,
understand.
culture you're mentioning. So I live in Saratoga Springs, which has some really nice restaurants in it because it's got like a track, and it brings in a lot of like you've been to like a casino before, right? And
Yeah,
it's got
yeah,
like
yeah,
high-end restaurants and stuff like that, because if
yeah,
you hit it big, you're just gonna blow your money on $100 steak or whatever.
yeah. Some lobster tails.
Yeah, so that's kind of the food culture I have around me, is we're kind of spoiled with a lot of high-end options around here. So I don't get a lot of the classic bagels and pizza
A
best
cheesecake?
in
No,
my
no,
area.
no
No,
classic
I don't got
staples.
that either. I don't know if it's just me, it's just my area, or as literally just the rest of the country. Are their bagels and pizza just as good? I don't know.
They're
So
not. They're not. I'll tell you.
they're
I
not.
I used to live in New York. Pizza and bagels are great. Don't live in New York now, and pizza and bagels are not very. There's one pizza place here that's good, and it's because they are from New York and they get like the
Well,
water from New York and stuff. Like that's one of those places.
maybe I just take it for granted. I will say there isn't like one style of pizza. I mean, everyone
Okay.
says New York style pizza, but like, you go to like 10 different places around me and it's all different. Thick, crust, thin crust, pan, You get all
sauce,
the options.
cheese. You know, we got a pizza. Ryan, I know you're a big fantasy football guy. You're in the AGL, NFL, fantasy football league. Do you regret drafting Bijan Robinson where you did?
So before I get into that, thank you, John, for starting a fantasy football league and
Oh, yeah.
inviting members of the server to come join. I thought that was a lot of fun. You know, it's kind of isn't it kind of interesting, right? The
I'm having a
crossover
blast.
of Magic and fantasy football. You wouldn't think there'd be a lot of
Oh, it's great.
synergy there, but
You still got Raph like spiking everything. You can't get away from it.
yeah, exactly. So if you're just hearing this for the first time or whatever, you know, maybe there'll be some openings next year, you know, or whatever. So I'm sure you'll put it out there again in that case, John.
Oh yeah.
Talking about Bijan, appreciate I drafted him, but literally 5 hours after the draft, 2 hours
That's
after
right.
the
You
draft, 1
traded.
hour
I
after the
forgot.
draft, traded him right for Tyreek Hill. So
And looking back now, what a trade that was, huh? Wow.
that worked out. That did work out. But I will say the reason I traded him away is I felt like I had great depth of running backs, and then those depth running backs ended up not being so good. So
You're doing well though, right? Aren't you in like a top 3 position in the fantasy football league?
I feel like I've got a solid, you know, get to the playoffs, not necessarily dominate sort of team, basically. Everyone needs to like pop off at the right point, but I'm feeling pretty good.
It's like making week 6, man. If you make the playoffs, you make week 6, you got a chance. That's all that matters. That's all you got to
You're,
do.
you're gonna get my podcast because I know you do a fantasy football podcast too, and I'm in a league that also does a fantasy football podcast, and I can go all off topic here. The rest of the questions go be fantasy football, and I wouldn't like blink an eye, and they're like, "Wait a minute,
But the thing is,
this is
I know
magic."
you're a big fantasy football guy though, right? Like you came into the AGL league, and I could tell that you really knew your stuff because you're like, no, you know, we got to make the benches this, we got to make this that, and I was like, oh, okay, Ryan knows what he's talking about when it comes to fantasy football.
Yeah, I've been a commissioner of a redraft league for 20 years.
Wow, 20
and
years,
then
that's a while.
yeah, it's a long time. And then I'm in 5 other leagues, which isn't that's not too much for some of the crazy people in some of the other leagues I'm in. I actually have more than that or whatever. But
It's
so yeah,
insane.
so I've just played for a long time and have a few leagues. Yeah.
Well, I'm happy you're in there. I can't wait to see where we end up. I know a lot of people probably don't care about the fantasy football talk, but just
Skip ahead 5 minutes from that question.
but you know, it's something we did this year because people are interested, and we'll probably do it again next year. So if you play fantasy football, let us know. We'll see if we can't get you in on this thing. We're gonna go to our questions from the league now, Ryan. How does that sound?
Yeah, awesome.
All right, Maxime R. Tassiger, guest on the show last week, top 8 are playing in this Tuesday's mega draft. One of the best players and just I think one of the funniest people on the server would like to know: would you rather fight one colossal dreadmouth sized mite token or 1,000 mite token sized colossal dreadmaws?
Yes, the age-old question.
Oh yeah, we've answered this time and time again.
I don't think I could fight a colossal dreadmouth sized anything. It doesn't matter what I couldn't fight a Ryan sized colossal dreadmouth anyway. So I mean, I think you got to pick the 1,000 and just hope for the best. Going for one, doesn't. There's no way.
See, this is an interesting question because one, I don't know how big a colossal dreadmouth actually is. I think it's very big, like skyscraper size.
Yeah, well, like I said, like how big? I mean, like,
and how big is a mite
even
token?
if it was twice as big as me, that's big enough.
Like I also don't know. Is it a mite token the size of a cat, or is it like the size of like a rock, like a small rock or something?
I think the mite token describes all of their attributes, but colossal dreadmouth sized is all I needed to focus on in that question. Specified the size. So even if I get a little mite with those little pincers that's colossal dreadmouth sized, that's a problem.
Raph would like to know, and we kind of covered this a little bit, but can you rank the paths from best to worst, and which path will you go down?
No.
Yeah, I don't think there is a best to worst. I think that's tough. I think that I don't know that there is that. Is there a card that you're hoping to play with?
Well, we already kind of talked about how we don't know the
Don't know nothing.
upcoming set well
No,
enough.
nothing. I know there's
But
a rare card that can explore X times. I want that one. That seems fine.
I can say that like from I like to put together bonus sheets, or I enjoy that part. So I can answer this from a like, hey, what artifact do I hope to get from other
Sure.
sets?
Yeah, let's
So,
do that. What
yeah,
what do
so
you want to spike off your path?
yeah, so I kind of, my personality is, I like, back when I played constructed a little more, I like to take a card that no one really likes and then like make it work in a deck. Be like,
Okay.
see, this card can work. It's not that bad. So I would have to pick some kind of card like that. I can't think of a lot off the top of my head, but there's you know what, this card, you know, oh man, there's this card from, I don't even know what it was from, like one of the Ravnica sets, I think. It was like Daxos, Crafter of Wonders.
Yeah, I remember
It's
Daxos.
You do? Oh, okay. I don't know why you would, because it was like a legendary multicolor that had nothing to do with Ravnica.
Oh yeah.
It's like if you equip a creature, they get flying and haste, or something like that. And it was not like an equipment set. Very weird. But I'm like, this card could be in something else with artifacts and equipment, and it's good. So I'm gonna go with, I hope I get a twist and turn or something. Or no way, I think that's a merfolk. That's why it's coming up. So like, if I get that path that gets a random merfolk and it ends up being Daxos, I'm gonna make that thing work. Force it.
Wow. That sounds exciting. Yeah, see, you probably have a good idea of what you can hit on all these paths. I have no clue what any of the actual options are. So
Right.
that's fun.
Yeah, there's a lot of debate whether basically every one of these times is going to be a curated list, or are we just going to do some sort of scryfall random search,
Yeah.
So yeah, we went back and forth on a lot of those.
Well, speaking of going back and forth on the paths, Evan C would like to know, how did the committee go about designing and attempting to balance the paths? Was there like a point buy type of system used? And what sort of things were the disagreements on that then acquired consensus, or some things that could have been that didn't make it into the final design?
Sure, there's a lot there I could talk about, so
Sure.
I'll pick what I think is interesting, I guess. First off, credit to Evan. He's always like really involved in the league crafting channel, and thinking about the stuff here. So you know appreciate him giving ideas a lot, even though we don't always have a back and forth. Specifically me and him or whatever.
Yeah.
So I appreciate his engagement. I guess why don't I just talk a little about the like some stuff on the cutting room floor,
Sure. Yeah.
and kind of how it got here. So coming off of Ixalan Remastered, we had this kind of idea that, hey, maybe when we roll a pack, we could like seed in like treasure, like just like a treasure token or something.
Okay.
So if you like get a pack and you randomly get like a treasure token in the pack, then you could then redeem it for something.
I love it.
So that was like the idea that we ended up leaving out, because that was only a 3 league, and when we thought of the Ascend, we're like, that's probably enough. We already have a curated card pool bonus sheet.
Yeah.
Ascend, that's good. So we left that out. So that was always in the back of my mind, this league, that like somehow we like collect tokens and redeem them for something.
Yeah.
So we had, at one point, we can't really seed it in very well. Like before, it was a curated queue, we had a little more control. Here we're just like rolling LCI packs, so we don't really have a lot of control over what you get.
Yeah.
So first we're like, well, maybe if you like find a cave, so if you get a pack with a cave, you could like descend into the cave and like do something. So then we like worked on that idea for a little bit. I don't know, there's a lot of different ins and outs, so we went with that. And we also hadn't really talked about descending very much, which is like events that can happen. I remember Sawyer put out there like, well, maybe we can have like some events. It ended up being a little more like a plane chase pitch, right?
Okay.
Or just like you descend and you're on different levels. This level is like can't play flying creatures, and and stuff like that, but it felt too much like Plane Chase to me, and I was like, you know, we wanted a way that we don't all step through it together, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I found a quote that I thought was really interesting. It was like my first quote on this the thread, and I said, here, I'm going to read it to you. I said, I think we should agree that the goal here is we design something where the right choice is debatable, so it becomes an interesting decision. Set rules, pool balancing, and the mom disappearing plane pack limit, I think, were optimal examples of this that we should strive to repeat. So I thought it was really interesting. I had no memory of saying that back in September, but I did some research for the podcast, and I was like, oh, okay. Apparently, I had that thought in mind the whole time. So eventually, sorry, long story short, this is boring.
Oh no, not at all.
You know, from like kind of Sawyer's idea, somehow, you know, I said, well, okay, what about if we descend on like a loss, and I just made a list of like 10, and that was it. Everyone would descend just the same number of times, you know, still like on Plane Chase, if everyone's doing the same thing, except, you know, obviously some people are going to be on different losses. And then Adam said something like, oh, could it be like different paths, you know, like or maybe different choices, like once you hit this, you could choose to go that way. We've always kind of had this idea floating of like progressing through a map where you have different choices. Even like Plane Chase, we kind of designed that way potentially, right? Like you have a grid and you could only go to these things next.
Yeah.
So I was kind of working on that, and then it was like, well, this is too hard. It's too hard to keep track of where everyone is and what decision points, and like it was just too much. So I was just like, well, I already got that list. What if I just make like 2 more?
Yeah.
And then you have to like pick like which one you want to go on, and then that kind of went from there. That was the beginning of that, and then we debated a lot on what should be on the list and stuff. But that's how it came to be. I have no idea if that was exactly the answer everyone's looking for, because we're so past the question, but like hopefully that was some interesting stuff about how the how it came together.
I think so. I think it's very interesting. And I think it's time for Steve Stumper.
Steve Stumpers.
I'm just a puzzle guy.
Oh boy, all right.
Are you ready, Ryan?
I'm not.
This is a weird one. Alucard casts Bloody Betrayal to gain control of Nosferatu's Olivia Voldaren, then activates Olivia's second ability targeting herself. Does he get to keep control of the vampire after his turn ends?
So I will say Steve gave me a softball question here,
Yeah.
and you gave me a list of questions for the interview.
Yes.
Totally forgot about Steve Stumper.
boy.
That was in there. So I'm just have to say, like, this game is happening right now, John, and am I spending? So if people that don't know, that you could spend 5 mana, and it says something like, you know, shoot, what does it say?
I think it's like gain control of target vampire for as long as you control Olivia Voldaren.
Perfect, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. So would you spend? So for me, I would just be Google it real quick in the match as my timer winds down. Think about how important if I just spend that mana and target Olivia, will it let me do it? And is that how I want to go out if it doesn't work?
Yep. Does it work? Will it work? It sounds, I will say, I had no idea when I was reading this. I was like, it could go either way, right? Like, it's a weird ability, but like Act of Treason says end of turn, and I don't know if it'll work like that. So Ryan, what happens?
I'm gonna spend the 5 mana and try to target herself and see if I get to keep Olivia for eternity. Do I get to, John?
Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner, Ryan.
All right.
Yep. Steve says Alucard gets to keep Olivia indefinitely because she's already under his control. As long as you control Olivia Voldaren, duration applies, and it keeps applying until she is removed from his control in some other way.
Nice.
So weird.
I can say the only precedent I have for this is there was something back from Theros where, there's like Thassa who would like you can exile a creature you control, and then they come back under your control, right?
Yep.
So if you temporarily stole a creature, you could flash them out and back in, and they'd like stay under your control, something like that.
Sure.
So that just some seed in the back of my brain said like maintaining control forever. It has been done before for these temporary effects, so maybe it's possible.
It's possible, and you made it through Steve Stumper unscathed. I think I got that one wrong. I didn't think that it would have done what you would have kept it. So yeah, good on you, Ryan.
Awesome. Well, when you get a 50-50 shot at something, you're going to be right.
I love that
I think.
he chose the Vampire Lord for the Vampire Lord. Steve's always so good about picking cards and things for people. And yeah, I'm sure you've played with plenty of vampires and active treason effects before, Ryan. This seemed right up your alley.
Nice. Appreciate it, Steve.
Well, Ryan, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show, and thank you so much for working so hard on designing this league. I know it wasn't just you, but it sounds like you did put in a good deal of effort. So I want to thank you personally while I have a chance for that, and for everything else you do. The Reddit articles, the website, everything, the internet wise is Ryan's bag. And I really appreciate you doing all that stuff, Ryan.
Yeah, but thanks anytime, John, and appreciate you doing this as always, and all the other community members and engaged people on our server. Real happy to be part of this group. So thanks, guys.
Great. Good luck this league, and let's have a fun one. I can't wait to see how this one works out. Wait to see what path we all take.
Awesome. Me either.
Love talking to Ryan. Hate losing to Ryan. I almost said love losing to Ryan. I don't love losing to anybody. Unless it's a really cool, good game. But Ryan's got my number. He beats me all the time. But man, what a nice guy. I wish he wasn't so nice, because then I could just pretend like this didn't exist. But no, he's a nice guy, so I got to own up to it. Ryan, thank you for all you do for the league, for the community. He also manages the website. Ryan does the Reddit posts and does a lot of the internet-based things that the league does. And I can't wait to see what path he chose and what path everyone else is thinking of going down, because the choice we got to make soon. It's Thursday. You got to make your choices before you start playing tomorrow. So pick your path, weigh the pros and cons, get a discussion going. I want to see a good discussion going, a good debate. Adam had the great idea for me to bring on 3 different people at some point that have gone down the 3 different paths. I love that idea. I'm going to try to do it here in a couple weeks. And we'll check in and we'll see if people are happy with their choices and if things are kind of going the way they wanted them to. And until we get until we get them on, and until this league starts, I hope that you get to keep a good 7. And I hope that shuffler is in your favor, because this is a 6-week league. It's a long league. You need a good 7, and you need some luck on the shuffler. Just look at Jordan's Mega Draft, right? If you draw your bomb rare in 5 out of 6 games, that's a lot of luck. That is a lot of luck, and boy, does it help. I'm telling you. Hope everyone is ready for Lost Caverns of Ixalan. I know that I am. Ready to be back. Excited to be back on Ixalan. Feels like we never left, and I don't think we did. But this is a fun league. This is going to be really neat. Pick your path. Let me know what path you chose. And I can't wait to see you on the battlefield, friends. Until then, bye, everybody.